on the Raider Nation? It's your boy Dub Raider. Little tired, but excited to be here today at another week of the Raider Nation Weekly Wire. With me, as always, is our knowledgeable, friendly, super Raider fan, Chris from Protect the Shield podcast. Chris, welcome. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. Good. Glad to be here, man. As usual, man. How are you?
Good, man. Like I said, little tired, but I'm holding on. I know, like I was telling you earlier, the show must go on.
Show must go on, man. You're the hardest working man in showbiz.
No. That's you, my brother. That is you. That is you, because you got like 13 shows in like 6 days or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Hey, you're doing, I would say the Lord's work, but I'd say the Raider Nation's work.
There we go.
In our instance. But no, yeah, welcome Raider Nation. This definitely has been a very busy week for both Chris and myself. Chris actually had a great guest this week. Raiders, undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
JOYNER.
Yep.
He had a great interview with him. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Also, I went this weekend up north to the Black Hole, Northern California, Northern Nevada barbecue and car show. Went to go cover the event, and also got to attend a special event on Sunday, which was, let me read it because it was the Dreaming Society. They were recording a documentary with the Raider Nation about mental health, and also remembering one of the pioneers of the Black Hole Rob, at Ricky's. If you guys don't know about Ricky's, look at your history, because Ricky's is a staple in the Bay Area for the Raider Nation. And we got to hang out. It was a great time. We're also going to be talking about, thanks to Chris, rookie mini camp, post-draft free agent signings, NFL schedule release, and the OTAs.
Yep.
All right, Raider Nation, without further ado, here we go. Let's start off with Chris's interview with JOYNER day before yesterday. Chris, let us know, man. I know this was a very exciting interview. What you guys talk about?
Yeah, man. First of all, I want to say, shout out to JOYNER. So he is one of the UDFAs that we signed. So he's an edge rusher from the University of Minnesota. And he's a guy that I was surprised he didn't get drafted. He was a guy that was projected to get drafted in the middle rounds, mid to late rounds.
Uh-huh.
But the kid's a dog, man. I mean, he's like 6'5", 265. He ran a 4.6 at the combine.
Okay. Wow.
So I think that was like the fifth fastest of all edge rushers. And then like when he was doing the drills, I forgot what miles per hour he got up to, like his top speed, but it was the fastest of all edge rushers at the combine. So
Al Davis pick.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just a freak, but has good moves, good pass rushing moves. He of course he has to develop as well. But just kind of talking to him, how excited he was, and he had some other options, as far as what team he wanted to go to. But he said the main reason he chose Vegas was being able to be in the room with the Max Crosby,
right?
Being able to learn from him,
learn from the best,
being able to play for Pete Carroll. So stuff like that. I was just fired up just talking to him. He's a real humble kid. He's going to come out there and work. He's going to put the work in. He was a captain at Minnesota. So he's going to be a good leader, man. Once he gets going, and learns everything.
Right.
And one thing I love, like when I talk to people, people that understand what their the opportunity are, and he understands kind of where he can get better, and he's going to continue to work at it. So I'm just excited to watch him grow, and I'm really rooting for him. I think he has a real shot at making this team.
Oh, that's awesome, man. We can use all the help.
Oh yeah.
Depth at any position.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good. And hearing you speak so highly of him, it's definitely I guess a vote of confidence, at least for me, because I know you know your stuff, you do your homework. So I hope he does make it in the team. And hey, man, if he does, we're gonna have a direct connect.
For sure.
Whenever we go to the games.
For sure.
So that'd be great. And Do you like know him from the past, or is it like a friend of a friend of a friend, or just like a coincidence that you were able to
No,
hook up with him?
just kind of just reached out, and we just kind of hit it off when we originally reached out, and
Awesome.
it kind of worked out. But like I remember him just because with me being a Michigan fan, I remember watching that game and remember he was giving Michigan some problems, man. So we barely beat them that game, but
Right.
but yeah, so I was always familiar with them, but yeah, we were able to kind of link up and get this quick conversation. And actually, I know you're dropping this on Sunday, but with today being Thursday, he actually just touched down in Vegas today for orientation. So
That's awesome.
So it's pretty exciting, man.
God, imagine how excited he is right about now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thinking that obviously it's not a done deal.
Yeah.
But he has the opportunity that so many others aren't.
Oh man,
are gonna have.
Absolutely,
absolutely. And that it's all in his hands.
It's a childhood dream, man. Childhood dream coming true.
It's all in his hands, and everything he does from this point on, his success is gonna be based upon his actions.
Exactly.
So to Ja, you know what? Good luck, my brother. Hopefully you do make the team. We would like to see you in the silver and black, and hopefully, we get to see that. Anything else you want to add on him, Chris?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, just Raider Nation, man, just keep your eye out on them. I know we're going to talk about, the different events that's coming up as far as mini camp and stuff like that. But, just definitely keep your eye on them, man. Let's root for them. And take a look at that interview if you haven't had a chance to look at it, man. He's a humble kid. He's fired up to be a Raider. And I can't wait to see him like in those preseason games, getting after quarterback. So salute to you, Ja.
Yes, sir. Salute.
But, so, for people that don't really, know all about you, man. So myself, I really look at the prospects, early on, and, I had a chance to kind of watch you, and so surprised that, you weren't drafted, man. You were coming out of Connecticut, went to Minnesota, did your thing. But my question is, how are you going to survive this heat in Vegas? That's something different, bro. That's something different.
It's so funny because a lot of my friends, a lot of my families, like just keep asking me about the heat because I'm coming from Connecticut, come from Minnesota, and all I played in was the cold, I guess. So I had a chance to go train in Miami, so it was cool to train in the heat over there. But we shall see.
Yeah, no, that's some different heat, man. That's some different heat.
Raider Nation. Right after, if you haven't seen it yet, right after you get done here, go to Chris's page and check out that interview. It is fire. I personally haven't seen it yet because I've been really busy, but I am going to catch it tonight. That's on my to-do list, for the week. But okay, so let's move on to the next topic at hand. Post-draft free agent signings, the UDFAs. You were mentioning that we had some substantial amount of signings for the UDFAs?
Yeah, so I believe we signed around probably like 18 people or so.
Oh, wow.
It was quite a few, that got added. So, in various positions. So, I won't go through all of them, but, to be honest, out of every last one of them, JOYNER was my, probably the guy that, I was most excited about him. And the guy by the name of Mello Dotson, he's a cornerback that he was another guy that I thought was going to get drafted. So, we brought some help in a lot of different areas. Got some linebacker help. I know I've always been talking about, linebackers, brought a safety. So, I mean, we, kind of all over the board. And then we also, so you bring in UDFAs who are undrafted free agents, and then they also bring in what you call like camp invites. So these are people that they invite to the camp, give them an opportunity to, not necessarily make the team, but give them an opportunity to be invited to training camp and all that stuff. So,
and what's the difference between those two, like signing and then just being invited?
So I believe UDFAs, I believe they're actually signed. So
they start getting paid now, or?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's how that works. So I think they actually sign. So they are getting paid. So I think they're contracted. However, the people that are trying out, I think they are like, they're trying to earn like a future deal, basically.
Right.
So that's kind of where they're at.
So one is basically is a step ahead.
Yeah.
The UDFAs are a little step ahead.
Yeah.
Than the camp invites.
Yeah.
Because Polamalu was a camp invite, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
I think
he
was an invite, or he may have been a UDFA, but yeah, he might be. He may have been a camp invite.
Yeah, if I recollect, he was one of the. Again, don't quote me. This is just my old memory thinking here. He was invited. They had invited local players from the local universities, and him being from USC, he was one of the ones that were picked.
Yeah.
So and he made the team, and now he's a starter.
Yeah.
So. Anybody, Jalen Richard, I think, was also he was an undrafted free agent. Correct?
Oh yeah.
And he made the team. You
just never know, man. You never know, and that's why it's like like now that the draft is over, it's like none of that stuff really matters from before. It's like now everyone has the same opportunity. Now, granted, if you're drafted, you do kind of get on that pedestal because a lot of GMs don't want to look bad for drafting people, and they don't. But at the end of the day, you got to think our best receiver on the team, Jacoby Myers, was an undrafted free agent.
That's right.
So there's guys, and again, one of my good friends that played for the Saints got a Super Bowl with them. He was an undrafted free agent. In fact, he may even just been a camp invite because he ended up starting off at the Browns, and then the Browns cut him. And then he went to the Saints, and then he just worked his way up and played in the Super Bowl, scored a big 2-point conversion in the Super Bowl, got a ring. So you just never know. You really never know. So it's like, and us fans, we got to root for all these guys, man. You just never know who's going to be the, be the one that kind of shakes out. Because no one expected Max Crosby to be who he is, and he was a late round pick. So, I'm just excited about all these guys.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm excited that we were able to get more players for positions of need.
Yeah.
And let them work it out from this point on.
For sure.
If they make it great. If not, at least we tried to fill those positions. And then obviously that there's still free agents out there after the fact that we can pick up if need be. But man, that's great. Good luck to all the players that will be out there. Hopefully you guys make the team. Make our team stronger, make our team, what it needs to be, and that's a winner. Yeah, because we definitely deserve it as Raider fans.
Man, that's the truth. And the thing is, one thing about Pete Carroll, he's all about competition, and he's not going to give out scholarships. You're going to earn everything you get, and that's why I like Pete so much. So, if one of these guys that didn't get drafted, if they outplay some guys that were drafted, he's going to get them the nod, man. And that's one thing that winning organizations do, man. It's all about competition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There was actually another player that I had just been hearing some talks about, some international player, rugby cat that got picked up.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I forgot how to pronounce his name. I want to say Lockie, something Lockie, but
It's a cat, right?
Yeah, big boy. He and the crazy thing, I'm not sure if I even told you. I know we kind of talked about my football past, but I actually played rugby as well.
Rugby, yes.
Yeah, I played rugby as well, man, and I played against some of those big Samoans, and I'm not sure if people, and I don't know if I talked about it, but
yeah, you did.
Okay, so yeah, Haloti Ngata from the Ravens, man, I played against him, and
wow.
It's just crazy how like that Samoan strength is something different, and they can move. So it's like I can only imagine if this kid, goes through the whole developing process because he's already going to be tough. He's going to understand leverage,
right?
But then in rugby, you got to run a lot too. So he's athletic for as big as he is.
He has conditioning.
Yeah, give this kid a couple years, man, and get him with a good coach. We got a great defensive line coach. Robbie Leonard, to be able to teach him some techniques and stuff like that. This kid may shock some people, man, because he is a big boy. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see him.
Not yet. I just saw like a headshot.
Thighs like this, like his thighs is like our body. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like that. Wow. He don't miss too many meals, man. He don't miss too many meals. See, but he's solid. Yeah.
I'm excited about players like that.
Me too. Me too.
They're just like random players from God knows where, and not necessarily because I don't think he's ever played football, right?
No. No.
He's just been a rugby player, but you know,
Yeah.
he's here. And man, I wish him a lot of luck. I definitely would love to see him. What position is he going to play?
Probably defensive line. Yeah, he'll have to
Defensive
be.
line,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he's like 350 or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, like 6'5".
And all muscle, huh?
But can move. But he can move. That's the thing. So
Wow. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That is definitely excited to see.
Oh
exciting to see.
yeah.
Yeah.
If the right coach gets a hold of him and just teaches him technique, and you know, he has a chance to, you know, to bring some value for sure.
That would be so cool, man. Going on, we also have next week actually the NFL schedule release. I am really excited to see what dates we're gonna get with what teams. I'm hoping, obviously, because you know the War Room and myself, we're all gonna get together and go catch a game.
For
Hopefully,
sure.
it's a good game later in the year when it's not that hot. But you know, whatever it is, we will definitely be there. Is there any particular games or scheduling you're hoping for it to set up in a way so you can actually attend that game?
You know what? I'm excited about the. To be honest, I'm excited when the home opener is going to land.
Right.
Just because I'm curious if it's going to be around that same weekend as that the big fight, the Canelo fight.
Oh, that's right. September. I think Canelo's is September
14th or 12th or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, around then. So that would be pretty sweet to be able to at least. Well, I wouldn't go to the fight, but at least be in Vegas. You know, when it's there. So I know that would probably be sweet to be able to kind of be there that weekend. But as far as like teams, you know, I really don't have my eye on any particular, you know, game at home. You know, I always like seeing, you know, good quarterbacks play. So
Right.
I would love to see, you know, a star quarterback or, you know, a star, you know, running back or receiver from another team. See us be able to stop them. So that's kind of always what I'm looking for. And then with me living in Ohio, I always look at away games. So
Right.
closest game to me is the Colts, you know, in Indianapolis. That's not far, but I do want to go to the Houston game.
We're playing the Eagles this year, right?
Yeah, and Eagles. Yep.
At home or in Philly?
Away. So yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out that rowdy stadium. Man, I heard it gets a little rowdy, but so did Oakland. So you know, you know, I would like to kind of experience that. So you know, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the home opener because after seeing all the video from last year's, I'm like, I'm never gonna miss one again.
Yeah.
I don't care how hot it is.
Yeah.
I'll tank top it and
make it
wear
work
shorts or whatever, but you know, I'm definitely gonna go. And you know, hopefully we can make that our game that we attend together.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it would also depend on your scheduling, on Severe and 805 schedule.
Yeah.
You know, whatever everybody feels comfortable doing. But I'm definitely gonna go to that one. I have my family trip. That one is usually later on in the year.
Yeah.
With my wife and my son. And then I have one with my fraternity brothers that we go every year. We don't know which one that one's gonna be. We were trying to do the cowboy game because some of my fraternity brothers are Cowboy fans.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
But you know, they're not sure yet because they're really busy with work. But I definitely want to do the home opener. And then obviously if you guys can't make it, make another game with you guys, and then the one with my fraternity brothers and my family.
Yeah, we'll make that a priority because I know I'll have flexibility, and I believe both of them will as well. So I'll talk to them today, and you know, again, the schedule don't come out to, you know, a few more days, but we'll make that a priority.
The 14th, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep, I think was that next Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be exciting, man.
Oh,
you know,
man.
Get those dates solidified, and then start talking travel plans and what we're gonna do. And man, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's barely May. God damn it.
For sure.
Barely May. But have you heard anything else about the schedule release? Is there going to be any? Because I know they always make a big deal out of releasing the schedule.
Yeah, you know, usually you start hearing rumors and stuff. I haven't heard anything yet, but I know as we get closer, we'll start hearing, you know, what international games are there going to. I hope we don't have no international games.
Yeah, because we usually get home games.
Exactly, we lose a game, so Yeah, so I don't want anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see. It's always interesting to see how many primetime games we'll have. So
Right, that's true.
I think with getting Genty, and Pete Carroll, think that's kind of made for some primetime TV.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, so we may get some Monday night games, some Sunday games, Thursday. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's hope we get more than last year. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Last year we were pretty we were not really put out there too much, and then the games that were primetime games were
we didn't show up. Yeah, it's like so it's like they give us a shot and then we get blown out, and that's, the NFL's like, no, that's not good TV.
They're like, nope, we're not making money here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so all right, so that's gonna be the schedule. So check it out next week, Raider Nation. We will find out when we're playing, because we know who we're playing, but we're going to find out when we're playing. Going on, the OTAs, the organized team activities, they've been going on for the past few weeks. Any information you have on that, Chris?
Yeah, so I mean, actually, I don't think they actually call it OTAs as of yet, I believe, because I think they're just off-season workouts with players just kind of doing their thing. But, because I know once OTAs start, there's only a certain amount that's allowed. So they're like, it's real regulated, per se. So, but I think what's kind of going on now, they're just having just like off-season workouts and things like that. So it's pretty cool. But I know like starting this weekend, that's kind of when like the rookie mini camp, I know we'll kind of get into that, but the rookie mini camp and stuff like that's going to start happening. And
when they have these rookie mini camps, are these more of just like educational, or do they actually practice? They start learning the playbook or just kind of get to know the facilities, get to know the coaches, get to know the other players? Or
so I know they do. So they have orientation, of course. So they kind of go through that whole process. And that kind of like lets them know kind of, overall, just like orientation anywhere, just kind of let you know a little bit of everything, all your resources and things like that. But then, there is some like playbook installations and stuff like that. There's like position drills. That's kind of where some of the coaches can do early evaluation. So I believe the only people that can go to the mini camp, and don't quote me, I think quarterbacks can go, and I think rookies and like maybe second year player. There is like a limit to people that's allowed to show up.
Right, because if everybody would show up, man, it'd be too many, and I think the focus wouldn't be on the rookies.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
and how many rookies are we expected to attend? Do you have an idea?
Well, like I said, we had our 11 draft picks that we had. And then all of our UDFAs should be there, and then our other camp tryout people, and then like a quarterback. So I'm not sure the total number, but
so roughly maybe around 30 or
maybe something like that,
give or take.
Yeah,
that's still a pretty big number, especially for individuals that don't know their way around yet within the facility and with the coaching.
Yeah,
but that's why the coaches get paid the big bucks, man.
Exactly.
They have to organize the structure, all these kids.
Yeah.
So, any other information do you have on the OTAs? Anything we should be looking forward to or looking for?
Yeah, I think again, I think for the for that, at least the mini camp, I'm just excited to see, just some of the first looks at Genty out there. How's he looking, cutting and moving, and again, those undrafted free agents. How are those? How's Ja looking coming off the edge and things like that. And if any of those tryout players, if any of those guys are making any noise. I know we have that quarterback that came from UNLV.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so he's a camp invite, a tryout guy. So it'll be interesting just to hear the news, man. Just being able to see these guys in a NFL setting. You're no longer the big man on campus anymore. You're not the big cool senior anymore.
Oh yeah.
Now a lot of them are at the bottom at the totem pole that work their way up. So it'll be cool.
Just a number. So like let me ask you, how can we the conventional run-of-the-mill Raider fan, how can we get this information on how the rookies are doing? Is it just like whatever is reported on like the NFL Network, ESPN, and stuff like that, or is there any place that you would recommend to get that rookie information?
You know, to be honest, there's a lot of any of our reporters on on Twitter, the beat writers and stuff like that. They usually, because they're there, they're able to. A lot of times they'll tweet what they see, like, oh man, Ashton Genty's looking good out there early on. So I'll kind of look into stuff like that. Hondo, Carpenter, Tayshaun Reed, stuff like that.
Right.
Or guys like that. They usually keep us up to speed. Regardless of how you feel about our beat writers, they are able to at least deliver us kind of what they're seeing. So I always respect that.
Okay, yeah, because usually I get my information because I don't do the whole Twitter thing.
Yeah,
I usually listen to Q Myers' show, the Locked On.
Q always gives.
Yeah, yep. And so I go based upon that, but I take it as entertainment. I don't take it as just guaranteed information because
exactly.
It's that individual's perspective.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like two people can see the same exact thing and have completely different opinions of what they just saw. So
right. So okay. So Raider Nation, if you're interested, go check out the beat writers. Go check out anyone that's actually there in the facilities to get more information
for sure
on what's happening with our rookies. And again, we wish them all the best of luck. Hopefully you guys could show out and become a member of the Silver and Black in the near future.
Yeah.
All right. As far as the general information, that's really all we got. Chris, is there anything else that you have, or that because I know you guys had a couple of shows with the War Room this week. Was there anything pertinent that you guys talked about, or anything that we should be looking forward to?
Not really. I think, one thing that we wanted, because this time of year it's tough, with the content, so, guys like, myself, 805 and Severe, we really kind of dig into the details. So we'll kind of talk about stuff that others don't want to talk about. So we actually, we already did like a breakdown of like our draft picks, but we also wanted to take a step back and look at how did the other teams in our division do as far as draft? So we broke down all their draft picks, and
I saw that.
We did that. So I think we did that on Sunday. And then Tuesday, we took a deep dive at our current roster, like who we have, and kind of talked about who are guys that may have trouble making the team. What are some position battles that we're going to see? What are our weakest positions still after having free agents and the draft and stuff like that. So we just kind of did a deep dive of each individual position and all the players. So, again, if you guys like that type of stuff, like that type of detail, definitely check us out, every Sunday and every Tuesday. We really try to break the stuff down, and we have fun doing it. We have segments and games, and we roasting each other, we always have fun with it too.
It is a lot of fun. I love watching you guys. I actually was watching you guys on Sunday from the airport.
Oh, nice.
Flying back from Oakland.
Yeah, nice.
And, I caught a bit of it until I jumped on the plane. But, I did notice that you guys did the breakdowns of all the AFC drafts.
Yeah.
And so out of like taking the Raiders out of the picture, which team would you say was the one that drafted the best from the other three?
I'd probably say I think the Chargers did a good job, honestly, because the Chargers got, not probably, but they got the second best running back in the draft, and some people even had them as the best, even better than Genty.
Wow.
So just having a good running back in a Jim Harbaugh offense is always something that you kind of got to worry about.
Right.
So, and then they, they've done some other things on the offensive line. So like in the trenches, they're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough physical team. And that's how Jim Harbaugh, likes to play football. So I expect them to be definitely a physical team this year for sure.
Oh man. So we're going to have an uphill battle with the Chargers, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think, they're building their team the right way, through the trenches. They kind of already had, they got a quarterback in place, but, they're building it so their quarterback's not going to have to do everything. They're going to be able to, rely on their running game, and, it's a good way to build your team. So Harbaugh, He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing.
He is who he is, man.
He is who he is. That's
he
what he
didn't
does.
get there by just slacking off.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
Did the Chargers pick up anybody to take Bosa's place?
Who did? I'm trying to remember.
Because I'm not gonna lie, other than the Raiders draft picks, I didn't check out anybody.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
I'm not sure if I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I do know. I believe they brought in somebody for in free agency, but
okay.
Yeah, but I mean their defense will be okay. Yeah, because they did lose a couple people, but
right.
They had some young guy, like some draft picks from last year that's supposed to step up. So we'll see. But
all right, well,
I'm not afraid of them by any means.
Right.
I just think I think they did get better though.
Okay, well, good luck to them.
Yeah,
not
for sure.
Not too much, but just enough.
Actually, no luck to them. Forget them.
Well, at least not when they play us in our division.
Right.
But yeah, as far as like information from this past weekend, I was telling Chris, I attended the Black Hole's Northern California and Northern Nevada chapter's first annual barbecue and car show in Richmond, California. It was an awesome event. I was approached by Marlene. She's the president of the Reno chapter of the Black Hole. And they offered to donate shirts because they wanted to give some giveaways to the kids. So
nice.
I made like about 3 dozen t-shirts to give away.
Nice.
And I wanted to go cover it for the Raider Nation roll call. So I went up there, and coincidentally my best friend actually lives in Northern California. So it was kind of like two birds. I got to hang out with him. We chilled out, did our thing, and we went to the car show on Saturday, and it was great, man. There was a lot of really nice cars. A lot of members of the Black Hole, a lot of members of the Raider Nation were there. Cheeto Linus was there. Raiders Against the World were there. So
nice.
SoCal was representing.
Nice.
Ran into Senor Raider, ran into Raider Singh. I got to talk to so many different people from the Raider Nation, from the Black Hole that, I've had maybe, just little conversations on social media, but actually standing there in person, talking to them and interacting with them. You felt I don't know if this is the correct term, the Oaklandness of the Raiders.
Okay. Yeah. The old school. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You felt that vibe. Like it felt like being back at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Just hanging out
guys that like fans who've been there for a while, not not the casual new fans, but the ones that's been there, from the beginning.
Man.
Yeah.
And it was great, and they were so welcoming because I didn't know how I was gonna be, how welcome I was gonna be. Everybody's part of the Raider Nation. You're welcome. Come hang out. Do your thing. But man, everybody was so friendly, so very, very welcoming. And I'm like, man, this feels so right. It feels like I've been part of this group from Northern California for so long because they've been rocking with Oakland for decades. Here I come. I was just like the mild-mannered Raider fan from Southern California, and I was treated like an equal.
Yeah.
And so I got to talk to a lot of them. Took some pictures, took some video. I'm actually working on editing the Raider Nation roll call as we speak. Probably drop it on Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
But because it's a lot of content, man.
That's right, representing.
Just win, baby. Who you thought I've been rocking for? Ever since a kid, it's been patching skulls. Black and white, you see it on my flags and poles. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, all you ever heard about my lips. I was twitching, I wasn't breaking when Brady was winning chips. Went to LA, then to Oakland, and now we up on the strip. Dancing with the nation every time we get to 6. 3rd and 13 used to run the ball. Now we got 100, so we changing the call. Tatted on my body, ain't no taking it off. When the Raiders on the TV, we ain't taking the call. When the Raiders on the TV, we ain't taking the call. Unless they with the nation, ain't no faking involved. All that internal hating, we be shaking it off. Cause we know they just came around Jacobs and Carl. Who you thought I've been rocking for? Ever since a kid, it's been patching skulls. Black and white, you see it on my flags and poles. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know.
Look, I'm 34 like Bo Jackson. I'm a Raider, long live John Madden. We left Oakland, now we with the Sinners. For Al Davis, we got unfinished business. Look, just win, baby. Defense ain't giving up an inch lately. The offense in clutch, we bout to up the scope. And D-Car ain't stopping till we reach the boat. Yeah.
Who you thought I've been rocking for? Ever since a kid, it's been patching skulls. Black and white, you see it on my flags and poles. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby.
Lifetime membership. So we need everybody to understand that this family gotta grow.
Yeah.
So that event was great, and it turns out that next year's event is going to be in Reno. So Chris,
okay.
if you have an opportunity, man, Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city in the world or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a little Vegas.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we can go catch it, go record some content over there.
Yep.
But yeah, got a message from Marlene, and
Okay.
she thanked me for attending. And Marlene, thank you. Black Hole, thank you, all of you, for your hospitality, and just your making me feel like I belonged. I truly appreciate it and salute all of you.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that day I had been in communication with the president of the Sacramento chapter, Steve Chavez, and he really wanted to chop it up, but he had an unfortunate loss in his family, and he asked me if I was going to go to the event on Sunday, which was a special event that I don't think was part of the car show barbecue, but it was still with the Black Hole. And I told him, yeah, I'd roll out. I was going to fly out in the evening on Sunday anyway. So my best friend and I headed on over there, and it was at Ricky's, Ricky's Bar and Grill. And man, when I heard it was at that spot, I had gone there once before to actually catch a Raiders away game. And man, it was one of those things where you walk in and it's like walking into your house, just like all the memorabilia, all the Raider fans, and it was so great. Obviously, now it's not the same anymore. Now it's just, I guess, a conventional sports bar, but they still have remnants of what used to be.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's still a historic place for the Raider Nation. So, walking in there, it was great. There was a bunch of booths outside. I think Cheeto had his booth there for
he did
as well.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
But when I got there, he was already leaving because they were driving back home. So I just said hello real quick. And, I met up with Steve and the rest of the Black Hole Sacramento chapter.
Yeah.
I got to meet ex-Raider wide receiver Kenny Shedd. He was the one, because they were recording a documentary also on mental health. And in honor of the memory of Black Hole Rob, he was one of the originators of the Black Hole in Oakland. They were recording a documentary, and they had the cameras, and it was a really cool experience.
Yeah,
got to chop it up with him. He was so funny. He was so welcoming, and just wanted to talk, and but at the same time he's running the show, so he's running around all over the place. And then also got an autograph from Raider alum Gary Weaver. He played, oh man, way before me, because he used to block Sweetness.
Oh wow.
That's how long ago.
Wow.
So it was like the 80s?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played in the 80s, and he was very nice too. He gave me his honor. He even gave me his phone number. He's like, "Here, give me a call. Whenever you want to talk." I was like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
So it was great meeting him, and then met some other members of the Raider Nation. A-Dub, salute to you, brother. He and I had been communicating through social media. Ran into him there. Again, Senor Raider. We hung out. Cisco from the Black Hole as well. Man, it was so many people. And your girl Myra, like I was telling you earlier, I saw her passing by as I'm recording. She was there. Man, who else? It was just such an awesome event.
Yeah.
And hopefully Raider Nation, if you guys ever get a chance, go up to the Bay, go see where our roots began, where the Raider organization, started, where the Raider Nation started,
Yeah.
And get that feeling to know why individuals like Chris, individuals like myself are such fans of the Raiders and the Raider Nation.
Absolutely.
You know, because it all started with these individuals over there, and you know, it expanded to Los Angeles and now to Las Vegas. You know, so it was definitely a great event, and hopefully you guys can attend the next one next year in Reno, Nevada. You know, and be on the lookout for that documentary. I'll put some information up on it from what I have. You know, it should be good because anything having to do with mental health is definitely important.
Absolutely.
You know, and also remembering our Raider Nation pioneers like Black Hole Rob. You know, it's always good to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. But yeah, man, it was a great weekend all around. I'd like to thank my best friend Sal for hosting me and taking me around. Even though he's a Bears fan, he's a big time Raider supporter. You know, he's always gone to probably more Raider games than he has Bears games in his life. You know, but I've tried, but I can't convert him. I just can't convert him. But yeah, so you know, it was definitely a great time hanging with the Raider Nation, and hopefully be able to see him again soon. Then there's also next Saturday, we have the summer kickoff event by the Raider Crusaders. I'm gonna go hang out with 805. Chris, is Severe gonna go? Do you know?
Yeah, yep. Severe will be there.
Awesome.
Yeah, yep. Yeah,
Awesome.
I know they're all pretty pumped up about that.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to go hang out with them because I've only met 805 in person once, and it was like really quick because he was with his kid. And Severe, you know, I just on social media, and I want to interview him. Maybe I could get the opportunity to interview him there, being that we're going to be there the whole day.
Yeah.
You know, get to interview him finally, and you know, just again hang out with the Raider Nation. We're going to meet smack dab, well, I don't want to say in the middle, but in the middle of the Los Angeles area and the Bay Area. You know, so more than likely we're going to get a lot of the fam from both sides and from Vegas as well.
Yeah.
I've been talking to Power Raider, and I think they're going to take a shuttle from Vegas.
Yeah.
805 is going to be on that shuttle.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah, so you know they're going to be going down there, and then my booster club TNBC, we're all going to be there. A lot of them are actually going to stay the weekend. I think there's a couple of hotels and some after parties that are going to be happening. I think 805's hosting one, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, I know he's gonna be there. Yeah, he'll be there.
Oh, so he's not hosting because I know he loves to host.
Yeah, I don't think he's hosting nothing. At least I don't think so.
So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of things going on that weekend. You know, there's going to be musical performances. There's going to be a lot of there's going to be alumni. What's his name? Jeremy Chen.
Yeah,
he's going to be
there. Yeah,
signing autographs and taking pictures. Raider alumni are going to be there. DJ Steph and.
Yeah,
I forgot what the other DJ's name is, and then there's going to be some musical performances. So it's going to be a great time.
Yeah,
all family friendly event. You know, it's going to be a blast, man. I'm sad that you're not going to be able to come, Chris, but you know, we will definitely represent you.
Yeah, for sure,
for sure,
there, man. I know you guys gonna have a heck of a time.
Yeah, you know, I had fun last year. Right now, actually, I just received a message from Lorenzo, which is one of the organizers from Raider Crusaders, that they're expecting it to be pretty hot, and they might move it into an indoor venue.
Okay.
You know, with AC. So you know, let's hope everything goes well. You know, we will definitely be informing the Raider Nation more on that as we find out from them. But it's definitely going to go on, and it's going to be a great event as always for the 11th year.
Nice.
Have you attended any of those events, Chris, or any event at all outside of like games?
No, I haven't. I mean, just if I'm in town, I mean, there's something like that going on, but no, I've never kind of like went out there just for it.
Because I've been noticing more as of late that there's events in other states of the U.S. that you know that have Raider booster clubs or and they have events like I know Arizona has events, New Mexico, Texas, obviously California, Nevada. Maybe Protect the Shield should start one over in Ohio, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that would be fun.
Yeah,
I'd definitely go.
Yeah, you know, hey, I could throw a party.
Yes, sir. Well, I know you can party.
Yeah, I could throw one too.
For sure. Yeah, that'd be great, man. But yeah, that's what just happened and what's going on. So Raider Nation, stay in contact with us through social media, through Chris on Protect the Shield podcast on his social media, because we will definitely be informing you on the upcoming events, upcoming recordings, interviews, and everything that we do. Chris, well, I guess we're going to cut it short this week, my brother. You know, we're going to be under an hour today.
Yeah.
But let the Raider Nation know where they can find you, what you got coming up, and any other information you got.
Yeah, for sure, man. Chris with Protect the Shield podcast. As you guys know, I have my show on YouTube, so you can catch me really on all social media platforms at Protect the Shield podcast. It's all listed right here or somewhere. So I every Tuesday and Sunday I have my show with my brothers, the Raider War Room, and that's with my guy 805 Raider and the Severe Raider. And then I also have my show every Wednesday. It's called the Spicy Shield Talk. And that's with my girl, Spicy Raider Girl. So we have that weekly show that's that we do. It used to be longer, but we try to make it around 30 minutes now. So it's just like a quick show, a little fun show that we do. And then I have the Shield Talk on Thursdays. That's kind of like my solo show that I do. And I'll have different guests on then. And then I do this show with my buddy. Dub Raider. This is one of my favorite shows, the Weekly Wire. So I absolutely love doing this show. But I'm just working,
Yes, sir.
doing interviews and all kinds of stuff to try to give the Raider Nation some good content, and and all types of fans, whether you're the casual fan or you're the fan that likes to get into the details. I like to try to cover all bases, even some of the lighthearted fans that like the games, the Raider games and the Raider themes and stuff like that. We do that kind of on Wednesdays. So I try to have a little bit, the whole gamut for everybody. So definitely check me out.
And let me tell you, brother, you do.
Yeah.
You do, because I'm one of those I don't want to say casual Raider fans, but I definitely watch the games, go to the games, but I'm also interested in learning more of the actual game itself. And you guys do some amazing breakdowns, give your points of view, sometimes agree, sometimes disagree.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's great entertainment, great information. So Raider Nation, check all Chris's shows out. I wanted to ask you about Spicy Raider show that you did yesterday. There was a mysterious voice that came on and off. Who was that person?
So that is Mother Moon. That is
Okay.
Mother Moon. That is actually Spicy's mother.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's Spicy's mother. That's my girl. She's cool, man. Mother Moon is cool, but yeah, she's kind of behind the scenes and over there where Spicy is. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching you guys. I caught it. It had already started, so I was just watching, and then I would hear a voice come up, and I'm like, oh, maybe the camera's down.
Yeah.
But then nothing. Then you guys would go back to talking, and boom, the voice will come back again. I'm like,
yeah.
is it my connection? Is it like something?
Yeah, no,
some
she's like
interference here?
she's like the behind the scenes moderator. Yeah, like especially when we do like our games and stuff. So yeah,
Right.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
That's cool that mom's involved.
yeah, she's mad.
Is she a
cool.
Raider fan too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
She's real cool, man.
Sweet.
So
Even better.
yeah.
Well, Raider Nation, as for myself, as you know, I'm here dropping every Sunday at noon with Chris, Raider Nation Weekly Wire. And then I have the Raider Nation Roll Call. I have the Oakland events, the Black Hole Barbecue and Car Show dropping on, I want to say Tuesday at 5, give or take. I should be done with editing, maybe even sooner. It's going to be a lot of great content of what happened this weekend. And then on Monday, I'm actually recording my first Stogie Nation episode. Unfortunately, it's not with MC Raider. I have actually a special guest, another one of our Raider brothers that I met through social media. Really cool cat. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but if you didn't, please look for him. He goes by the name of Legacy of the Shield. You could find him mostly on, I think you've had contact with him, right, Chris?
Yeah, on TikTok. He's right. He's
Yeah,
always on
TikTok, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does a lot of content on TikTok, and he's gonna start moving over to Instagram and YouTube as well. And he and I clicked. He doesn't live too far away from me, so we're gonna start working on the Stogie Nation together. He's also interested in cigars and
Nice.
Raider football, and he's what I've noticed, he's more of a Raider historian.
Yeah.
And that's another I guess avenue that I want to convey to the Raider Nation is our history.
Yeah.
We can't forget about our history.
Oh,
may
yeah.
it be 50 years ago, or may it be last year. We need to keep that history alive, to know where we came from, to know where we're going.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to be recording that this upcoming Monday. I'll let you guys know when we drop. And I'm thinking of probably even doing some of these shows live on occasion.
Yeah.
Because his work schedule is crazy as well. you know, so I don't want him to have to be traveling too much and affecting his family life and his work life. So we'll probably do some lives and see what goes on from there. At the end of the day, you know, we just want to inform and entertain the Raider Nation.
Absolutely.
And, you know, just have a good time doing it, just like we do here at the Weekly Wire. So Chris, you know, with all that said, thank you, my brother, for being here yet another week. I truly appreciate you, your time, your
always
knowledge.
Enjoy being here and doing this show
that
with you,
you
man.
do for us here at the Raider Nation. And remember, Raider Nation, everything we do for the nation, by the nation. Peace.